Yeah, apparently you shouldn't be able to do that. So I think the bearings in my D&M shock are fucked, would you say? Good evening guys, Pitbikesonic here. The welder is here. Rob is here. We haven't gone round his house in the end. He says he hasn't got any room in his garage, so we're here at mine, and we're going to get those cracks welded up today, and just get everything strengthened and hopefully a bit better condition than what it already is now. Let's just show you guys what we're dealing with. Right, so the swinging arm's now off, so you can see better that horrible weld we had done on here before, and where it is starting to crack again. So that is the main point to get done. We've got the engine mount down here, but it's come off on this part, still on that side but still on that part. And then we've got the exhaust mount round here, so fair bit to do. I'll turn this into a whole episode of me putting it all back together as well. So here's Rob the welder, and you would recognise Rob from other vlogs as well. It's his first season this season. Right, let's get on this, Rob. I'll try and film as much as possible without getting archive. Right, so there is the worst offender all cleaned up. Rob's gonna just weld around there now, make it a bit stronger. Also cleaned up the subframe. I'm probably going to take this off after Cadwell. We've got a little break before Spain, and I'm probably going to go get that powder coated blue. I think it'll look quite nice with the blue engine cover and brake reservoir cover there. So yeah, we'll get that sprayed blue. I don't think I can get archive from looking for you welding on the camera screen. I haven't even seen it, it already looks better than what it was. Focus camera. Fire.
It's hot, that is. Plumber by day, fabricator at the weekend.
Yeah.
Better than factory, them welds.
Wow, it's not tough. It's not tough, is it?
The chinky metal has welded up better than I thought it was.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
That is better than I thought, to be honest. I thought it was going to be some Chinesium.
Well, CW is the... Well, what was CW? It's the premium, isn't it? It's the best Chinese metal.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the best steel, is it? It bends and cracks.
Right, so Rob has kindly found me some more damage on the bike that I didn't know about. I thought this was normal. Yeah, apparently you shouldn't be able to do that. So I think the bearings in my D&M shock are fucked, would you say?
I think they're past their best, yeah.
So we've taken the bottom two spaces out the bottom, so apparently
they're not supposed to do that.
You shouldn't be able to go all the way around like that. Tell me if me and Rob are wrong. Well, if Rob's wrong, but apparently you can't do that. So what we're going to do is Rob's going to take this shock with him. He's already changed the bearings in these before, so I'm going to order some, or I'll probably get Rob to order them, and then I'll pay him the money, and then he's going to change it for me because he's done it before on his. So yeah, more money to spend, but shouldn't be that expensive, no, Rob?
12 quid.
12 quid, lovely.
That's easy a second for you, Jay.
Oh yeah, yeah, another second a lap. Yeah, Chris, you're fucked.
Oh, that is very crusty in there.
yeah, look at the state of it in there. So yeah, maybe another thing, guys, that I spoke of earlier on seasonal maintenance is yeah, check your bearings and the top here.
Where have you been? That's like crusty metal. The top one you can't spin though. That's how it's supposed to be, look.
Yeah.
It is loose though.
Yeah, it's probably not moving because it's held in by rust.
That is shot. That's worse than the bottom one actually.
Oh well. I said, well, that's my excuse for this season. This is why I didn't win more races, you see. Well, clearly, because the bearings in the shop. I've never checked them, so God knows how long they'll like it for. Probably going to have to go Parker racing for these bits. Hopefully that he's back home from China now. Not good.
Rusty. It's all that wet riding.
I know. What I love doing. Right guys, we're back. It's about a week later, even though I'm going to turn this all into one vlog. Last episode you saw Rob come round and fix all of those horrible cracks we had in the frame. So they're all sorted now. It's a lot stronger. Fingers crossed that's going to last us for the foreseeable future, hopefully. Other things as well, as you can see, we've got this lovely blue subframe now. Big shout out to Aerico in Great Yarmouth, or just outside Great Yarmouth in a village called St Olives. They did this free of charge. They also did other things for me on the engine cover that you can see down there and the breakaway as well. So a massive shout out to them. If there's any of you guys who need anything powder coating, especially on a pit bike, like your frame, your wheels, subframes, swing arms, engine covers, go check those guys out. I'll put a link to their website in the description below. So yeah, massive shout out to them guys for doing that for me. It looks trick. Most important thing that we've got back though, that you saw earlier in the episode, is the rear shock, where we found the bearings were completely and utterly shot in this rear D&M shock. So yeah, gave that to Rob. He ordered the bearings off Parker Racing, and then he had to go to a friend. They didn't come out very easily, apparently. He said they were so mangled, rusted and horrible, had to take it to a friend's press to get them out. So I'll come give you a closer look at what the new ones look like. So yeah, there they are, the new bearings, top and bottom. Look a lot shinier than what they did first time round, like when you saw it earlier in the episode. And yeah, they're in a lot better way now than what the rears did. So yeah, that hopefully, not that I say I could feel any difference, but maybe I didn't notice. But yeah, that should be a lot better now. So we'll stick that back in today as well, along with the engine and just getting the bike completely ready for Cadwell, which at the time I'm filming this episode is next week. So we're going to put this all back together, put the correct gearing on for Cadwell, just get it completely ready for the last. No, we got the Moped Mayhem, so not quite the last race meeting of the year. With Moped Mayhem's right at the end of the year, but we might do that on my other bike, so we'll see. Right, guys, let's get this bike back together. Before we put the rear shock back in, we've got to put these, I'm guessing they're called shims. They're the things that just go on the outside of the bearings. So yeah, we just got to stick them back in first. You don't have to press them in or anything like that. Obviously the bolt and the nut will push them in anyway, so yeah, they just push in like that. So we'll just put one side in and look at the other. They just press in like that, so nice and easy. And like I said, once you tighten it up, that's all going to push it together anyway. So that's the rear shock back in now. I'll show you a top view if you remember what it looked like when me and Rob found it in that way. It's it's a hell of a lot better now, so I really think it's going to make a lot of difference with the handling on the bike. Fingers crossed anyway. Yeah, so remember what it was like before? Yeah, look at it now. No movement whatsoever. So yeah, thank you Rob for noticing that, and a massive thumbs up for getting it sorted for me. But yeah, hopefully that's going to help a lot. So excellent work. Right, so that's all the plastics back on, seat back on. As you can tell, they're looking a little worse for wear now, these plastics, but fingers crossed we'll have our new ones with our new graphics on. Fingers crossed before we go to Spain, but at least before the start of the end of the season. Right, last part of this rebuild, guys. Let's get our engine back in, and if you don't already know, guys, this engine was freshly rebuilt just before the last round at Red Lodge at B&B, so there's no need to touch this. It ran absolutely spot on at Red Lodge, so fingers crossed down these long straights at Cadwell she's going to run even better. Man, I'm getting good at putting these engines in now. Do it a bloody enough though, don't I? Right, so that's all the engine back in. I've done a few other things. I haven't filmed it because you guys have seen me a million times put it all back together, but all the electricals are connected back up, coil all put back together. I have already cleaned the carb out, but once again, you guys have seen me do that a million times before, so I haven't bothered filming it. Go back in the videos. There's loads of videos of me cleaning the carb out and setup and things like that, so if you need to know anything on like that, just go back in the videos and you can find it. Right, so the bike's pretty much all back together now, all ready, but now we've got to do some setup changes ready for Cadwell basically. So we're going to have to change the gearing. Obviously Cadwell is totally different to any other track we go to. The straights are massive. So we've got a 35 rear. That's the only time I'm ever going to use this rear is for this race meeting. And once again, apart from Three Sisters, we've got a 17 front. So we need to change the gear, and that's the first thing we're going to do. As well, guys, it's November, or it will be by the time we get to Cadwell, so it's going to be a little cold. So I've looked at the weather, and it looks like it's going to be about 11 degrees, but no chance of rain whatsoever. So I think I'm going to go SS rear and R front. So we're going to stick them in as well now. Also suspension. My front forks are set up for go-kart tracks. Quick, fast turns of direction. We need to make this bit better on stability because obviously we're going really fast because we're at Cadwell, which is a big bike track. So we're going to push these forks all the way through so they're flush, just so it's not a very stable bike, the CW, so we need to make it as good as possible. So we're going to push those forks all the way through. So it's not going to turn as quick, but we don't really need to at Cadwell because it's all going to be about slipstream and fast, going down straight and not going slowly round go-kart tracks anyway. So yeah, need to do that. So going to get all this setup done now, and then we're pretty much ready to go. I didn't do too much video of me putting the bike back together because, like I said, you've all seen that 1,000 times before. So yeah, let's get this setup change done. Now I was a little worried because the rear gearing was so small that we might have to take some links out of the chain, but luckily I've put it all the way back and it looks like we're going to be alright. Right guys, she's all ready to go for Cadwell now. Got a few little adjustments to make in the week. I'm not totally happy how free these wheels are running, so I'm going to adjust them because obviously we've got these long straights at Cadwell. We want these wheels running as free as possible, so gonna just grease them up a little bit just to adjust the wheels spinning a bit freer, but apart from that we're all ready to go. Let me just quickly show you guys the adjustments I've made for Cadwell, just because it's such a different track to anywhere else we go. So as you can see, we've pushed the forks all the way through so they're flush now at the top, so yeah, that's where they need to be. Obviously gearing, we've got an 18 on the front and a tiny little 35 on the rear. And as I said, because it's going to be cold, we've got an R front in. I've stuck with an SS rear. I don't think we're going to need it. But apart from that, guys, I think we're all ready to go. Hopefully you've enjoyed these 2 episodes of doing this little rebuild on the pit bikes. Not totally done for next season because we've got to get those new plastics and graphics done. So it's not completely done, but I had to get those welds done before we did Cadwell and before we go to Spain. But that's all done now. It's the worst of it done. So yeah. Cheers guys for watching. Once again, massive thank you to all my Patreons. If you're not already signed up, make sure you do. If you've enjoyed these 2 videos, I really appreciate it if you give it the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Probably won't see you next weekend, guys, because that'll be Cadwell. Next episode, I'll try and get it out as quick as possible straight after Cadwell. Until then, speak to you later, guys. Bye bye.